Growth is impossible without change. There is no creation without destruction. As we forge a new path, we welcome all those who wish to build a legacy. Our fans, our players, and now, our very own destroyer, the newest member of your Rapid FC. Welcome, Desiree Scott.
As Canadians, we haven't always had the opportunity to see a path towards being a professional athlete. I think this league is really important to give young soccer players an opportunity to see role models, to be able to represent Vancouver. It's a really exciting opportunity for me.
Hello everyone, my name is Jacob Garland, and this week has been a historical week for the NSL, for the Northern Super League. And personally, it's probably so far my best or my favorite timeline so far. And that is, not only has the league now seen Desiree Scott come out of retirement to play for Ottawa, but now we're bringing in another Canadian women's national team player with also over 100 caps for the national team, Quinn, who will be playing for the Vancouver Rise. And what a timeline we live in. You know, I know Gareth Wheeler at One Soccer has been talking about, oh, well, I like some of these signings, but then there just hasn't been that Canadian, women's national team, hype and having players involved, not just, for club staff or being, an owner or whatnot. But now 2 players in the same week that have over 100 caps for the Canadian women's national team. One of those players was a vital player in Desiree Scott for that 2012 podium, medal that Canada won in London that then launched what this program is now. You're talking about a player in Quinn who's been such an integral part to the national team since she's ever been a part of it, and was obviously a part of the team along with Desiree Scott that won gold in the Olympics in Tokyo, which feels like forever ago because of COVID. But 2 players with over 100 caps for the Canadian women's national team, and 2 players who I think honestly could have maybe decided to not come to the NSL, because Desiree Scott at the end of the NWSL season with Kansas City Current stated that this was going to be her retirement. This was going to be it. She was going to retire with Kansas City Current in the NWSL, and that was the story of Desiree Scott. I would like to think that the pressure of leaving a legacy and leaving Canadian women's soccer in a better place made Desiree Scott come out of retirement and join Ottawa. And now you got a player like Quinn, who I think, despite her deal being expired, excuse that rep cut, despite that contract being expired, I think she could have either signed still with the Seattle Reign, or she could have went somewhere else in the NWSL. And I could argue she could have even went to Europe. So the fact that she chose Vancouver over all those other options, that is a statement from her saying that this league is legit. This league is for us. Play in this league. We're taking it serious. This is where we want to be in our careers, especially when you talk about a player in Quinn, who's still in her late 20s, who still has a lot to play for, deciding to play in the NSL over the NWSL or elsewhere around the world, and especially in Europe. So what an historical day for the NSL, and we're in mid-January and it's only getting started. These next 2 months or so, next 2 months and a half, are going to be absolutely hectic and crazy, but then also exciting, and just cannot wait to enter this stadium in 2025 for AFC Toronto, and to, even though Desiree Scott, even though Quinn isn't playing for AFC Toronto, just the fact that, for me personally, to be on a field level with these two players, and then obviously to have fans in the stadiums or in the stadium at York Lions Stadium. I don't know why I said stadium 2 times. Had to have fans at York Lions get to see these players in the flesh without having, a once in a every couple month women's international friendly in Toronto. Finally, they're going to be seeing these players week in, week out, and this is what the NSL is all about. So absolutely stoked for Quinn, absolutely stoked for Desiree Scott, and this surely just has to be the start of what's to come for this league. So welcome Desiree Scott, welcome Quinn to the NSL. This year is going to be a good year.